Talking a little bit about running a retail business with family, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that, because there's demand associated with that,
Yeah.
and how you manage the balance.
The whole thing started as an endeavor for my wife and I to do together. So there's definitely, that passion is there and shared. And I don't think that a business like this could be run with the intensity that we run it if the whole family wasn't fully behind it. So you probably know that we had a little girl 10 days after we opened the shop. Definitely a demanding challenge. If I were to do it again, I'd
Was
probably,
that first child?
Yeah, it was our first child.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a learning experience.
It's always a learning experience. There is no manual that can help you with that. I mean, there just isn't. And so, again, your passion is behind it, but now you've got a bigger passion, obviously, in your daughter.
Yeah.
So how do you share that balance, and how do you
We're working it out. We're working it out. I think initially Finley, our little girl, required a lot of mom's time, and now as she gets older, she's requiring more of my time.
Right.
So.
I like the name, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
What's the genesis of Finley?
We were trying to. Finley will watch this when she's 9 years old. We were trying to name Thump at the same time that we were naming Finley, and we were going through this long, excruciating process to come up with Thump.
Yeah. It's like band names. How do you come up with a band name?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, and we were headed down that same path with Finley. And then one day, Hazel just came home with the name, said, "Hey, what do you think of Finley?" And we both looked at each other and went, "Yeah, that's great." And it was done. It was easy. We didn't have to
you just
commiserate over it at all. So, there's not a real story, just that we knew instantly that was going to work for us.
Yeah, excellent. So let's talk about, again, coffee, smoothies, baked goods.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got all these things going on.
Yeah.
How do you manage the consistency and delivery of all these products?
Right, yeah. Good question. Consistency and the quality of the coffee is all about training. Number one, Stumptown has to deliver us and does deliver us a really consistently.
Right. So you did your homework
product
on the front end, on the beans themselves.
So much of that chain of quality comes down to the barista. Even if you think about it, the grower has to do a great job of growing. The weather has to cooperate. They have to harvest properly and pick properly. It has to be processed properly, and everything has to be just right during the processing. Yeah, exactly. And then the roaster has to do a terrific job. And if all these things fall into line, then it comes down to the barista, and the barista can make it or break it. And so our training program is months long. I mean, seriously, we hire staff and we let them know, you're not going to serve a drink to the public for probably 2 months.
Yeah, so you probably filter out a lot of people who want to work here, knowing that they're not going to be here in 4 months.
You have to be passionate about coffee to work here, and you got to know that you're going to have to put in your time before you can do that. That rock star moment of handing over that perfect drink. And that perfect drink is hard to make, and a lot of effort goes into that moment when you hand someone the drink. They look at you, go, "Wow, that's beautiful, thank you." Yeah. And you go, "Yeah, you're welcome. That's for you." And there's all this other stuff that had to happen up to that moment. It's essential that the person who gets to be in the spotlight at that moment appreciates everything from the farm, up to them, including the cashier, the guy who cleaned the grease trap last night. All that stuff is essential.
But again, so it's a consistent message that you're sharing with the customer, so you know that everybody that touches a customer is sharing that message.
You bet.
Whether, again, depending on the different tasks that they're doing, they've got to be consistent in that message. And I think that is always what makes the customer experience the best. Is if I know, that's why you're packed in here all the time. Because I know I'm going to get the same. If I order the same drink, or if I order the 4 drinks that I rotate, I know what I'm going to get. And that's why I come back here.
No matter who makes it.
No matter who makes it. And that's why you're packed in here.
That's probably the nicest compliment you can give us, because that's the hardest thing to do in this business, and it is also the thing we work the hardest on.
And you have to live here yourself, you and your wife, to do that. You can't not be a part of that.
I was talking to somebody the other day about
retail's not an easy business.
It is not. I was talking to somebody the other day about the 60-hour work week, and I'm still looking forward to 60 hours. I think that would be terrific.
Yeah, exactly.
That would mean I'd have a day off.
Right.
But it's okay. We're 3 years into it, and the business is going great, and the customers are wonderful, and we have the most amazing staff, and I feel so fortunate to have been able to attract them. the bright, enthusiastic, talented, motivated people that we've been able to attract. And we could not even think about doing this without that quality of